obvious, be friendly and nice. Of course, we should always be friendly and nice from the moment we enter the organization, not just in the interview room, because they might be asking about you. How did you behave and how did you interact with others, even outside the room? So don't allow your being nervous or don't allow this to make you be aware about how you are behaving. So you don't be less friendly or something with people outside the room.
Some organizations like serious people.
Serious. Well, serious doesn't mean that we can't be nice. You know, being nice and friendly will not prevent you from being serious. Yeah, if I'm serious and taking my job seriously, that doesn't mean that I should be rude with others, right? We can be friendly and still serious, taking our job seriously.
Can be serious and polite to not should be.
Of course, polite, yes. Respecting others. Respect is a must, even you are serious or not serious, you have to respect others. Actually, I think serious people, they do respect others more than maybe people who are more, they might miss some, yeah, they might joke a lot and miss a situation or something. Yeah. What else? Eat before you go to the interview. You need to be energetic in the interview. So don't be so irritated and you don't eat. Please go eat, take your coffee before going and try to relax, okay? Don't take anyone with you. It's obvious, but some people, they take their mothers, maybe their friends to the interview. Don't. If anybody went with you, let them stay in the car. Take water and tissues with you. You never know. Maybe you will not have access to water or something. So those are very simple tips that you might find useful during the interview day. So in the interview, those are some things that you should not do. You should not talk negatively. So when they ask you about your day or how was the way, how did you arrive, do not say any negative things. Oh, it was horrible. Oh, the traffic, you should have seen the traffic. Oh, I could not find the parking. They don't care. They are just asking you to open the conversation, to have a nice conversation. So don't talk negatively, especially if they ask you about your previous employer or your university, your professors. Don't mention negative things about your previous experiences. Focus on positivity. Don't freeze up. So in case you faced a question that you don't know how to answer it, there are some techniques that we can go over and we will talk about this. Don't say, I have no questions. So at the end of the interview, they will ask you if you have questions. Don't say, no, I have no questions. There are questions that you can ask at the end of the interview to show that you care about this job and about the organization. And we will discuss this also today.
But some organizations don't like questions.
Then they should not ask you, do you have questions?
They ask and see what's your questions, and then they say, she asked about that.
We will not be asking annoying questions.
But maybe it's not annoying for me.
We will ask questions that will show that we care about the organization and about the job. It's not about us. It's about the organization and the job. Okay? I don't have much experience. Don't say this. So maybe most of you are graduating with no previous experience. Don't say, I don't have much experience. You can say, I know I'm new, or since I'm new to this job, I'm sure that I have the abilities to learn new things, to acquire new things. So you can say, since I'm new, or as a new, as somebody who's new to this job. But don't say, I have no experience, okay? You have to show that you are willing to learn new things. Don't ask at the end of the interview if they like you. Do you like me? Are you going to hire me? Don't do this. I have seen people asking this question. So please don't ask this question. It's not professional at all. Don't dominate the interview. So you are so confident. You want to show your confidence. and you start talking and talking and talking, and you don't allow them to ask follow-up questions or their next question. You should know that they have a set of questions that they will be asking for all the interviewees. So they have to go through all the questions in order to be able to compare all the interviewees, the applicants, after they are done. So allow them to ask you the questions, be attentive, listen carefully, and know specifically what do they want from the question. So you answer them briefly and straight to the point. So don't dominate the talk and keep talking for very long. Okay, what else we could, don't ask about the salary, especially if it's your first interview. Don't ask them what will be my salary, what are the benefits you are offering. Don't ask this question in the first interview. If they asked you this question, also there are techniques to answer this question. So you might have, actually you should search very well about the salary scale for this job, this kind of job, for this industry, for different organizations, what do they pay? There are websites that you can get an idea about the salaries and the average salaries provided. You might ask your friends who are working there, for example. Try to connect with somebody to ask about the range of salaries that they offer for this kind of job. Ask the competitors. So you have to do your search about the salary, get a salary range, and know what's the maximum, what's the minimum range. Then if they ask you, what do you expect as a salary? You can tell them, I have been searching for this kind of job and I know that the range is from this to this. I expect, let's say, if the salary is, the maximum is 20,000, well, you tell them a little bit less than that. Yani I expect, for example, 19,000 since I'm new to this experience. Okay? Don't ask for their social media accounts.
What they ask me.
If they ask you, that's okay.
What if it's private?
If it's private, tell them I have my LinkedIn profile. So you can give them your LinkedIn profile. Okay.
So if they ask about other social media
Is it related to the job?
Okay, if it's not related and just they want to know.
You can just tell them my accounts are private. That's fine. This is your privacy. But your LinkedIn is public, and it should actually be there even on your CV. Yeah. So don't ask for their social media accounts. Don't ask them personal questions about them.
So the most important or the most convenient platform for social media is LinkedIn.
Of course, LinkedIn is the Facebook of professionals. Okay, this is where they connect together, get to know each other, announce their work, their publications, their recent activities, professional activities, of course, on LinkedIn. That's nothing about personal life. Okay. Of course, since you might be applying, most of you might be applying for assistant professors maybe after graduation. Expect them to be focusing while asking you, they will be focusing on your research experience for sure, on your personal teaching philosophy. And maybe it's not ready yet, maybe you don't have your philosophy yet, but you can start reading and preparing yourself. So you prepare yourself, what will be your teaching philosophy, and about technical understanding of your field. So they will get into details about your research area, and maybe the services that you have provided for the community, some volunteering or something. They want to see your abilities and your willingness to contribute to the society, because this is also an aspect that universities care about, right? Do you think there is something else that they might ask about? Maybe those are the areas that they will focus on for assistant professors. But of course, there are many questions that we can expect. Those are some highly used questions. in job interviews. They are like 95% you will find those questions in the interview. And the most likely question that they will start with is, tell me about yourself. Right, ma'am? You were telling me that you went through many interviews.
Yes.
Did they usually ask you, tell me about yourself?
They start off telling you a bit about the company, and then it goes on to tell me about yourself.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So have you ever tried answering, tell me about yourself question? Is it easy to answer this question?
It's easy if you prepare.
Yes, so why do you have to prepare? You know yourself. You don't know yourself?
I mean,
Experience.
I need to arrange this.
I don't think it's easy because more or less they're looking for, you know, in your CV, the section that says your profile. So they're looking for you to a summary of everything you've done, your interest in about 2 to 3 minutes. So it's not really easy.
It's not easy at all. It's the most tricky question. And they might actually decide whether to hire you from the first answer for this question, whether to hire you or not. Okay, so it's a very important question. It's a key question. And the main important thing that they want to know in this question is the value that you can provide to the organization. So let me give you 5 minutes. Okay, do you have papers or shall I give you? Can you write about yourself if you are in an interview? Please, for those who are online, please grab a paper and write about yourself. Answer this question. Tell me about yourself. What would you tell us about yourself? How would you introduce yourself? 5 minutes to do that.
هقرأ عنكم شوي. تمام. Some kind of communities and that's a good exercise. Yeah.
Pen? I have pens. Write down. Tell me about yourself. Yes.
Sure. Right.
أعطيت 5 minutes بس تقريبا.
لكن بسألني بس السؤال شوي
لا هم الكومنت يلا بس
هذا بارت في بارت جاي يمكن
لأنه هلا حنكمل الأسئلة
بس نخلص بس
Okay, 5 minutes are over. I hope you wrote about yourself. Yeah, what about the online people? Are you done? Did you write about yourself? Okay.
Yes.
So please keep your answers. I'm going to show you after a few minutes some techniques on how to answer this question, because really it's a very important question for the interview. Okay? So, another questions that you can expect, what do you know about our company or our university? Very simple, but we should be prepared for this question. Expect this question. You have to read very well about the organization to get to know them. You can read about their news and newspapers or online. You can check their.
What if there's new organization and they didn't have a website or anything to read about it?
Well, you can tell them that I read that you are a new organization, you have been established this year, and your vision is like this, and I really believe in your vision. So you have to show that you know about them, whether they are old or new. You can check their social media. You might see a very interesting campaign, for example, for them, and you like it. So you might talk about it. So this shows that you have done your research. You know about them, you care about them, you are following them and following their news. Also, here at this question, you have to show a connection between you, your values, and the organization, okay? Are you willing, this is an unexpected question maybe for academics, are you willing to teach courses that are not in your comfort zone or not especially in your area? So here they want to see that if they hire you, you can be a good, colleague who can support and help in cases they face shortage in some instructors or some faculty members. So it's up to you if you don't want to teach something else, but usually you should say, yes, I'm willing to, and I'm open to getting more knowledge, more experience in different areas. I can be prepared to different courses. What are your weaknesses? What do you think? How should we answer this question? Should we be honest? Because, we should not lie in the interview. Shall we be honest? Shall we lie? What should we do? Should we say we don't have any weaknesses?
No.
We do have weaknesses, maybe we don't. What about the online people? Please, if anyone would like to unmute and share with us, what do you think about what are your weaknesses? How should we answer this question? If you would like to answer, please raise up your hand and Muad will unmute you. Anyone would like to answer? How should we answer? Okay, we have somebody here.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I think we should answer this tactfully, as in we shouldn't mention too much about our negatives, but being human, everybody has some weaknesses. So we should put it in a way that we are willing to work on it, but definitely this is something that I would like to address.
Mm-hmm. Can you give us an example of a weakness that you might have?
Maybe we can say that, for example, if you're somebody who's not somewhat of an introvert. So you'd say you usually like to work in your own space, but you have, you always try to involve others so that, you can become more of a team player.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Who else?
Thank you.
Who else was going to answer? Yes, please.
Here I may mention some weaknesses that does not affect my career directly. For example, I can say that I cannot work with distraction, for example. So this is a weakness, but it will not affect my task directly.
Okay, so you cannot work in a crowded environment or somewhere that's busy or noisy.
For
Yeah.
example.
Okay, and then yeah.
With regards to that, I think most organizations are looking for someone who is flexible and able to adapt in different times. So if you say you can't work in a noisy environment, what if the noise happens? So
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So in order to answer this question, of course, we should never say that we have no weaknesses, because all of us, we have weaknesses. And if we say that we have no weaknesses, we will sound as arrogant, not confident. No, it will be arrogance. Okay. And the other thing is that when you answer this question, make sure that you know what are your weaknesses. So assess yourself, list them down for yourself before going to an interview. Know what are your weaknesses. Then when you answer, make sure that you are not linking the weakness to a personality trait that you have, but make it something that's related to a skill. So, for example, I don't like to work with teams. This is something, maybe I'm an introvert, I don't like to work with teams. So mentioning something about my personality is wrong, because I cannot change my personality and they cannot change your personality, but they can change, and you can change your skills. You can upskill, you can learn your skills, right? You can always learn new skills. You can always improve your skills, but your personality is the most difficult thing to change. Okay, I'm an angry person. I get angry so quickly. This is a disaster. They cannot change you, right? But if it's something that's, for example, I feel that I'm not a good team player, but I have realized this weakness through my studies when I was working with teams, and I have been working on this weakness. I have been improving. I have been going to some training courses in teamwork, and I have read a book about teamwork, for example. You can mention the book name. They will say, wow, this person reads. Wow, this is clever, okay? And so you have to show them that it's a skill and that you know what is the weakness and that you are working on it. What's your plan to overcome this weakness, okay? So you have to give the weakness and how you are going to overcome the weakness. And don't ever mention something related to your personality, because they cannot improve your personality or change it. Skills, they can be improved, problem solving, teamwork, leadership, but of course, if the job is a leadership position, don't say that you have a problem in leadership skills, okay? So you are not the right fit. So search for something that's less important. Say that it's your weakness, and what's your plan to overcome? How did you progress in overcoming this weakness? Is it clear for everyone? Do you have any question? Okay, great. So, your strengths, you should know your strengths and try to link your strengths to the job. So you have to read very well what is the job, what are the job requirements, the job description, and link your skills and mention the important strengths that you have that are linked to the job. Okay, so do self-assessment for yourself, know yourself, and don't underestimate yourself. Believe in yourself, believe that you have strengths. Everything that you have learned during your study is becoming your strength. Okay, so you have to mention them, especially if they are related to the job. Why did you choose to interview with the organization? Again, this is about understanding this organization. What do you do? What do they do? And how do you feel you are connected to this organization? What makes it the best place for you? It might be that they offer career improvement opportunities for the person. It might be their mission, their vision. I don't know. You will search and you will see how you are related to this organization. Those are some questions that you might expect in academia. And I have a question here. Somebody was asking about services.
Community services. I'll read it for you. Okay. Zubaida Hassan, she was asking.
Zubaida was asking what kind of community service is required for academics. You know, usually there are events and activities that we do for students, such as workshops that we do for students. Maybe we arrange some events and activities. We bring maybe speakers from outside, from the profession, to meet with the students. So any kind of activity that you volunteer to do for the students to improve them, to improve their skills, is considered as a contribution. If you have visited a company, for example, if you are from health or medicine, you visited a company or a school to make awareness campaigns or something, this is also a society contribution. Okay, so there are different activities. Okay, so again to the question, tell me about yourself. Okay, let's watch this video. It's really interesting, and it will give you a simple strategy to follow when you are answering this question. So take notes while you are listening. يمكن لتحت لحظة أنا مشغلتهم لحالهم. لا شوف هيهم موجودين هون. بس الزوم we want to show it on the screen. بيطلع الساوند ولا في شيء I have to click هون. Share sound. Okay.
Managers asking you the question, tell me about yourself. They are not actually asking about your whole life story. They're not asking about your parents, your background, and your dog's name, and what kind of cat do you have. It is not about that. So when people hear that question, they think, oh, let me tell you my life story, and 20 minutes into it, you have not talked about anything important. So what they're actually asking is, what are you bringing to the table? So from now on, when you hear the question, tell me about yourself, I want you to make the mental switch. That equals, what value could you bring to the company? What problems can you solve for?
It's not showing here. Okay, 1 second, please. What's this?
The company.
I will repeat it because you were not, the screen was not showing, right? Shall I repeat it?
No.
No, it's fine? Okay.
That's what they are asking. And you shouldn't go on and on and on about all your background and all of that. No, don't do that. Key number 2, be yourself, but be your best self. See, one of the mistakes people make is they believe in an interview, well, you know, I just want to be myself. Yes, you want to be yourself, but you want to be your best self. You want to be authentic. You don't want to be fake. But it doesn't mean that you just share everything. This is the first time you just sitting across the table from a hiring manager. It's like a date, right? You just getting to know each other. This is like a coffee date. So make sure that you present your best self, right? Lead with your strong foot forward. So when they are asking you the question, everything that you share, any statement that you make, you always want to tie it back to what's in it for them. WIIFM, what's in it for them. So let me give you an example. Let's say someone is hiring and you're applying for a social media manager position, okay? And the hiring manager is asking you, well, so tell me about yourself. A typical response. Someone might say, well, you know, I grew up with social media, and I've used social media for a long, long time, my whole life actually. So I'm very familiar with it. And just about 3 years ago, and I thought to myself, hey, you know, maybe I could actually make a living doing this. So I started playing around with it, and you know, take on a couple of clients here and there, and I've worked with a couple of people, and now, you know, I'm planning to get married, and my fiance, you know, told me that, you know, I should get a stable job. So here I am, and I'm looking for a company that offers a good, you know, growth potential, good growth opportunity, and also this place is, you know, not too far from my home, so it's good. It's only a 10-minute drive. You see the problem? Like that, it's all me. It's all about that person, what they need, and all of that stuff. Bad idea. Now, how do you feel if you are the hiring manager? When you ask that question, comment below if that's the answer that you get. So instead of rambling on about that, about my background and all this stuff, what I want, no. If you are turning it into a benefit, what's in it for them? What's in it for the company? What's in it for the hiring manager? What could you say? I'm going to give you a simple formula. Write this down. 3S. 3S. First, success. Now, here's a script that you could use. I have been blank. Or my background is blank. So let me demonstrate. Let's say it's the same position, social media manager that you're applying. So first, success. I've been doing social media for the last 3 years, and I specialize in helping companies and entrepreneurs growing their Facebook fan page. And in the last 3 years alone, I've helped dozens of clients in over 10 different industries. And on average, I've been able to help my clients to really increase the engagement and grow their fan page by 300 to 500% in less than 6 months. And that's what I am passionate about. In fact, I have listed some of those clients that I've worked with in the reference letter. You see how that works? You're talking about your success, but without bragging. It's more to demonstrate and showcase your skill set. What are you good at? That's step number 1, success. And then step number 2 is strength. And here's the script. My strength is, or my real strength is, fill in the blank. My real strength is my ability to truly understand what your audience wants. I pride myself on my reputation to creating engaging and compelling content that I know your audience loves and want to share. That's the second step. My strength is blank. Third, situation, meaning how does that apply to the position that you're applying? How do you apply your background, your strength into the new company, the new opportunity? Situation, what I am looking for is. What I am looking for is, fill in the blank. What I'm looking for is a company that I could add value to, that I could produce a positive return on investment for, where I could join a strong team, Is this what ABC company is looking for? You see, at the end, you ask a question. Whoever asks a question controls the conversation.
Okay, so it's simple. 3 S's: success, strength, and situation. Okay, what is your success? You will summarize what you have been done and what you were doing successfully. So as the miss here was telling us, it's about telling a summary about your CV. Well, yeah, we will summarize our career, our successful career and achievements, and we will tell them about our strengths, what we are good at. And of course, you have to read very carefully and very well the job description. And whatever you are telling about yourself has to match the job description and the requirements, okay? And at the end, what was it at the end? Situation. So give a proof of what you have been doing, okay? And what you are looking for. I hope it's clear. Do you have any questions? Do you think that you will change your answer to tell me about yourself now?
Of course.
Yeah? Are you going to change it? The thing that you wrote at the beginning about yourself? Or it will be stay the same?
Change.
You will change. And are you convinced to change? Okay.
It was mainly about
Great.
I am.
It was about me. We don't want to be to do that, so be careful. Okay, let me share again the slides. For the people online, you will modify a little. Okay, great. Type. So can screen. Okay, so I hope that this is a useful video for you. Now another, what's wrong? Another type of questions that we will get in the interview, as we said, the behavioral questions, where they want to have an idea how would we behave in the future based on the past. So they will be asking us about situations, to tell them about certain situations.
Need experience.
It's about situations. It might be related to your experience, but what they really care about is your behaviors. Okay, so it's not about your research area, for example, or your teaching philosophy, but it's how did you behave? How did you react in certain situations? So they will be asking you about, like, tell me about a time where you handled a difficult situation or a difficult complaint, or tell me about a situation where you handled a difficult student. Tell me about, give me example of problem and how did you solve it? Describe a situation when you handled a situation with limited resources, your experience in working with a team. So it's all about situations. Do you think that it's easy to answer this question? It's also another tricky question, okay? And we should have a technique to answer those questions, okay? Let's see how. We should have, or we can use this model. And again, I'll show you another video about how to answer this behavioral questions. Okay. Okay, listen carefully and note down the steps.
Examples are the lifeblood of a good interview. Interviewers love to hear specific examples of your experiences. If you were hiring someone for a leadership position, and one candidate claims to be a great leader, but another candidate claims to be a great leader and gives you examples of his leadership success, who are you more likely to choose? In our communication tip today, I'll discuss how to choose and describe the best examples for your next interview. Career consultants recommend using the STAR acronym when describing your experiences. STAR stands for situation, task, activity, and result. Begin your example by briefly explaining the situation or context of your story. Then describe the task you are assigned or took on. Next, describe your actual behaviors. What exactly did you do? And finally, tell the interviewer about your positive results. Watch as 3 candidates interview for a software trainer position. Rank order their examples. Have a worst, better, and best. The interviewer has just said, "Tell me about a challenging teaching situation you've experienced."
I was hired by a bank to conduct customer service training for all of the bank tellers, regardless of their performance. It was mandatory training, and the leadership team warned me that many of the tellers would not want to attend, meaning they'd feel like it was just a giant waste of time. So I started by asking the leadership team for the customer service survey data, and then I built a concise but strong case that service wasn't as great as it could be. In fact, 15% of customer loss was directly related to service problems. I began each training seminar with that data, and then I also built in tons of role play situations so tellers would realize just how challenging it is to provide consistently good service. In fact, we filmed them as they role played, and as they watched themselves, you could see this new awareness on their faces. The evaluations by the participants at the end of the training were outstanding, 4.8 on a 5-point scale. But what I'm really proud of is after the training, customer satisfaction increased by nearly 20%.
I was a teaching assistant in a daycare for almost 3 years, and the kids were out of control, especially at nap time. We tried our best to keep things under control, but it was tough.
In my department, we hire 10 interns every year, and each one has to pass a rigorous skills test before we let them have access to any of our open accounts. And that pass rate on first attempts used to be 50%. And since I took over, the pass rate is now at 87%.
How did you?
Which one was the best?
First one.
First one or third one? Third one. Why the third one?
Because he was concise on the point and he just gave the result directly.
He didn't say how. He just said 8%. But how did he achieve that? He didn't say that.
What do you think? Yeah, the first one. The first one, because she went through all the 4 steps of answering the behavioral questions. We said it's a situation. You have to explain what is the situation to put us in the context of the story. And then the task, what was your task or what was the objective of the situation? What did you want it from the situation? The activity, what did you do to solve the situation? And the success, how did it end up? So if you notice the second one, the lady in red, she answered only, she just told us about the problem very briefly, without any action, without a solution, without a success. We didn't know how did that go. For the last one, he told us about the problem and the success. Nothing in the middle. We didn't know what happened. What did he do to overcome the situation? But the first one, she answered perfectly. She gave even evidence with numbers and figures about her success at the end, right? So did you see, did you note down how to answer behavioral questions? Now, the thing is that you have to prepare for this kind of questions, right? So how can we be prepared for this question? You can expect behavioral questions, like what type of behavioral questions you might face. If you are applying for academia, most likely they will be asking you about situations regarding students. How do you handle difficult students? How would you handle students who are absent? Maybe you never taught, maybe you never had your own students. So how would you go about that? How would you answer something that you didn't have experience about, or you didn't really experience yourself? How would you answer a behavioral question that you didn't experience in reality?
We mentioned a similar situation.
That you observed.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Similar, but not actually the same case. Maybe you observe a little bit similar case, you can explain this case.
Okay. What do you think?
Kind of same
Yeah.
idea.
Yes, that's true. So if I was not in that situation, if I was never an assistant professor and I had my own students, but I was a student, right? So maybe you can tell a story about a situation that happened in front of you and how did your professor handle that situation? How did you observe the behavior of your professor? What do you think about his behavior? And how did that professor treated the situation? What was the success? So you will follow the same 4 stages. You will tell the situation, you will explain it, put us in the story and context, then the task that was required to solve the problem, the actions that were done, and the result, the success that happened, okay? So you will show that you are observing and you are learning from others, even if you were not in that situation. Now, in some cases, they might ask about a situation of problem solving, a situation of leadership, a situation of time management. A situation of time management can be used as a problem solving, a situation of maybe problem solving can be as a time management. You cannot see the screen. Okay, I don't know. What about the others? Let's know if you all see the screen or not. Okay, so you can tweak the story, you can frame it the way you want. It's about how you deliver it, how you put it in context. It's frozen? No, it's
frozen.
Okay. Okay, this is an example. In the slides, you will find more examples of situational questions, how to answer them. You will see that the answer has the 4 steps of answering the situational questions. Is it clear? Do you have any question about situational questions or behavioral questions? People who are online, any questions so far? Okay, this is another example. Okay, so if you don't know what to answer, as we said, in some questions, if they are behavioral questions, I just told you how to answer. You can tell them about a situation that you observed and explain it using the same way. If it was a question about, for example, details in your field, and you are not sure, you forget about it, what would you say? Shall I tell them, I don't know? Shall I freeze, stop, don't knowing what to say, and I get really nervous about it? Be calm, first of all. Breathe and don't freeze. It's actually a good sign if the interview is going into more details and into more depth, and they are getting to ask you more and more questions. This is a good sign. If the interview is lasting for a longer time, this is a good sign. It means that they like you, they want to know more about you and about your behaviors, about your knowledge. So in case you faced a question that you were not prepared to, especially if it was in your area or your field, you tell them, I will get back to you on this question during the day, okay? So it's okay, tell them that.
During the day?
Yes, so after the interview, you go home and you send them the answer to this question.
Or is that okay? Is that allowed?
Yes.
Can you not sort of reframe the question?
That's if you don't understand it. If you don't understand the question, yes, of course, you can tell them, can you come again? Can you, yes, can you elaborate? Can you, I didn't get the question clearly. Can you ask it again or something. So it's fine. If you didn't understand the question, if you didn't hear it well, of course, you can ask them to repeat the question. That's fine. But in case that you hear the question very well, you understand the question, but you don't know what is the answer, you either tell them that you can answer this question after a while and during the interview, or that you can answer it after the interview. I cannot recall it now. I know this. I have studied this. I'm familiar. I have studied about it, but I cannot recall it right now. I will give you the answer after the interview during the day. It's fine. Better than not answering, right?
Yeah, what if I didn't experience it? I don't know.
Don't say I don't know. I don't
Of
experience
course,
it.
I will not say, but I didn't know actually,
Mm.
and I didn't experience something like this.
Don't say that.
I tell them expectation,
Hmm?
like that I was expect the situation and I just tell them the results would be.
Maybe it's a question about your knowledge. So maybe your research or different research or something that's very technical, you know? You get my point? So it's not about you. It's not about your experience or your behaviors. Maybe it's about the work itself.
Can you say something like, I've come across this, but I would like to do a bit more research into this. This is an area that, you know, I would like to research a bit more about,
Maybe,
because I'm
yes.
not sure how it would sit to say, I don't know the answer now.
Yes, we
but
should
can
not
I-
say.
Can I tell you later? I don't know. I'm not
You
sure.
will not tell them, I don't know. You can tell them that I'm new, for example, to this, but, or I have studied this, but I cannot recall it right now. I can send you the answer during the day.
What
Yeah.
if they say no or?
No, I'm sure they'll be flexible.
They will not say this because it's not their job to make things difficult for you. They want to see how you behave. So if you behaved in a good way and showed a good attitude during the interview, this is a plus. So I will not say that I don't know this. I have no idea about this. I never experienced this. We should not say this. We should not say I have no experience in this area. We should, maybe we can say, I have read about this, but in order to answer you in a good way, I'll get back to you during the day.
So the idea is never say, I don't know in the interview.
Never show that you don't know, okay? So you can tell them nicely that I'll get back to you. Be confident, show them confidence that it's not, you know, don't give them the option to tell you no, yalla now or never. So be confident. خلاص حسم يعني, what do we call it? بحسم الموضوع.
Yeah, get it done.
Like, I will give you the answer during the day, okay? So be confident. Hopefully you will not face any kind of question if you are prepared very well. Inshallah, you will be ready for any kind of question. Okay, so
Based on that, I have a small question. And based on your professional experience, what's the professional time of replying to them? Like
during the day,
within one day at a max?
in the same day.
The same day.
Yes, because you care about the job.
What
huh?
if the
Yeah.
position is so competitive? So there are a lot of people applying for the same job.
So would you like to, you don't know the answer. Would you rather telling them I don't know, or telling them I have no idea, I have no experience, or answer something from space, or tell them I will get back to you during the day, and you really get back to them. When you go home, you do your research, you send them a nice email telling them it was a pleasure meeting you, refer to the question that you asked me, this is the answer, and you give them a sufficient answer. It's nice to do that.
Maybe
Instead
they
of saying
think I cheated answer.
you did your search, it's okay.
So can I bring a note, so take some notes from the interview? For example, if I face some questions like this, can I just write this question to recall it?
Yeah, why not? Yes, you can bring with you. You will have actually your CV, a copy of your CV, take it with you, and you can have your pen, a note with you, that's fine, yeah. Another thing to be prepared to, especially for those in academia, you can easily expect who are the panelists that will be there in the interview. Especially that you can go to the university website, to the department page, check who are the people in that department you are applying to, who are the head of the department. Most likely the head of the department will be one of the panelists. You can read about each one in the department. You can read about their publications. You can check what are the links between your publications and their publications. You can also read about things that are interesting to you, or you pretend that they are interesting to you and you tell them about them in the interview. That would be really impressive to them. Doctor, I heard about you and I read about your articles. Your last article was amazing. So you can make a conversation. Remember that interviews are a conversation. It's a two-way conversation, okay? Okay, what else? Questions to ask the employer. So at the end of the interview, they will tell you, do you have any question? Never say, I have no question. Okay, this will show that you are very nervous. You just want to get this done. And it will not show that you are interested in knowing more about the place or the job. So some questions that you can ask, for example, who will be the most people I work closely with? Are there opportunities for professional growth, or what kind of professional growth opportunities do you offer for your employees? What is the most challenging aspect of this job? You allow them to answer this question and listen carefully to them and try to address this challenge. So after they answer you and tell you what are the most challenging aspects of this job, you prepare your answer according to your strength and you tell them, well, for me, I'm sure that I can deal with this and I can overcome the challenge with my experience and my skills. Okay, I can be an asset to this job.
What is the point of the first question? Doesn't matter.
It just shows that you care, you know, that you are really interested in this job, that you want to know more about the place, the people, and that you are visualizing yourself as part of this job. Okay. What else? How would you describe your work culture? So that, again, you care about the culture, you want to understand it more, know about it more. Clear? Of course, there are many other questions that you can ask, and online you can find many of them. The questions that you should not ask when they ask you or invite you to ask questions, you should not ask, what would be my job? What's my job? What will I be doing? Okay, because you should know, right? There is a job description. You applied for something that meets your experience or your background. You will not apply to something that you are not sure what is it. What's this company doing? You don't go if you don't know what's this company or university doing. Who are your main competitors? You should know, you should have done your research about their competitors if it's a private company or even a university, private university, maybe even public universities. They are competing, right? So you should know the main competitors for a university or a company. They might ask you, you never know. So you should do your research and read carefully. When can I start taking vacations? What, you didn't even start. You want to take vacations? Don't ask about vacations, about salary, about benefits in the first interview. Are you going to check my reference? Of course they will check your reference, especially in academia. So don't ask this question. Go.
Can I just add, with regards to that question, who are your main competitors?
Yes.
one of the things that worked for me in an interview previously, I said to the interviewee that I actually did a SWOT analysis, and he was quite impressed. And he said, "Okay, tell me what were the strengths, what are our weaknesses?"
Wow.
So and I think that was what got me the job.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Great. Yes, you showed that you're really interested and you care and you did the effort to know more about this place. That's excellent. SWOT analysis.
If the job description was not clear, for example, was not clear enough, can I ask for some details, more details on my job?
Yes. If there is really something that you are interested in knowing and you feel that the job description didn't cover, yes, you can. If it's a specific thing about your job, you can ask them. This shows that you really read very well the description and you want to know more details and depth. That's fine. It shows your interest and it shows that, again, you are visualizing yourself in the place. So yeah, okay. At the end, you will thank them for having you, for giving you the time for the interview. You can ask them what comes next or what's your process, what shall I expect next, the next step to be. Re-emphasize your interest in the position. Of course, smile and be nice. Ask for their business cards and leave the interview with nice energy, good energy, with a smile. Okay?
Why I should ask for a business card? I'm already read about the company.
Well, because you are not sure who are the panelists. If you contacted the university maybe and they told you exactly who are the panelists, then that's fine. You will find their contacts on the website, right? But sometimes you are not sure. You can expect the head of the department to be one of the panelists, but you don't know who are the other panelists. So you can ask for their business cards to start contacting them later in case. And sometimes the conversation really goes very smooth and very nicely in the interviews. They will not be your friends, but at the end of the day, you are colleagues in the academia, right? So you can still be in touch with them for further research. I don't know, okay? Okay. After the interview, so we are done with the interview and we didn't hear back from them. Or let's say this is after the interview. When we are done with the interview, maybe the next day or in the same day, we can send a nice email. Thank you for your time. It was a pleasure meeting you. I'm really interested in this job and I'll be looking forward for you to hear from you for the feedback, okay? Now, sometimes in the interview, as we said, you can ask them about what comes next. What's the process, okay? So they might tell you, like, expect a feedback from us after 2 weeks or something. So they will give you an idea about when they might get back to you. If that time passed and they didn't get back to you, it's okay to follow up. You can send an email to follow up, okay? So you have to show that you are interested. If they didn't reply to your email, it's okay to have to call and ask, are you done with the interviews or what happened? Can I know what's my status? Can I have your feedback? It's fine to ask about your status and where, because actually they should get back to you. Professional people, they should get back to you either with acceptance or rejection, they should get back to you. Okay, so if they didn't, you have the right to ask. Okay. Okay, so this is it for me. If you have any questions, let me know. Yes, questions? People who are online, please, if you have any questions, share with us.
What if they accepted me and sent me the details of benefits and I don't like the salary? So
you can discuss it. Yeah, you can tell them, I'm really interested in this job and this place and this company. I would love to work for you, but salary is below my expectations. Yeah, that's fine. Of course, you will not accept something that's not That's not acceptable for you. That does not work for you. You have other questions? Questions?
Ashkila, I have a question.
Yes.
So, do we need all the time to accept the first offer letter, or should we argue with them, negotiate about
Do we need what?
to accept the offer letter? I mean, for the salary, or we need to argue and
It
negotiate?
depends. If you, as we said, you should have already done a research about the salaries, the range of salaries, about this industry, this company, and other competitors. What do they offer for this kind of job? So if you think that what they offered you is competitive and it's fair and it meets your level of experience and it's good for you personally, then accept it. No need to negotiate. But as Amira was saying that what if the salary doesn't meet her expectations, then of course she should not accept. She can argue and tell them it's below my expectations. Yes.
So I think there's one question here. What about the salary expectations? I think the same question they were asking.
Okay. Any other questions online? Online people, I wish you were here with us today. Thank you very much for listening and for staying till the end. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for your thoughts.
Please keep in touch. This is my email. Here's my email. In case you want to ask anything. No, they didn't print one for me.
Wow.
But I have LinkedIn and social media accounts.
Is
Okay.
it?
It's Abir Hawa, Abir.
I will show it now.
University.act.
Yeah, this one.
If you need anything.
So thank you so much,
Good luck with your
Abir.
studies. Hopefully to see you wherever you want to.
Thank you so much for your valuable time and for the really interesting workshop. And thank you for everyone who attended. Please, before you leave, can you just scan the QR and give us your feedback? And for the online people, can you follow the link that I posted? Just fill how's the satisfaction level. And again, thank you so much for your good time.
Thank you for the invitation. Always glad to provide workshops for the graduate students. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Beautiful.